Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, this morning I'm able to continue to make this video on the topic of religion and belief. Keep doing it because it is important topic to think and discuss, because we are thinking about our Creator. So of course we will get the benefit, spiritual benefit, from thinking our Creator, because we don't live on this world for free. We have to serve our Creator. Not serving our Creator will be looked as people who are rebellious and will be punished by our Creator. I remember the story of Prophet Abraham when he first went to the mountain on the invitation of the Creator, because the Creator wanted to talk to Abraham directly, and one of the first things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Prophet Ibrahim is that Allah would punish people who are rebellious against him. So what is meant by people who are rebellious against him? Let me again say this revelation that I read. Wabashiril Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wabashiril lazina amanu wa amilus salihat anna lahum jannatin tajri min tahtihal anhar. Send good news to people who believe and the people who are doing good. Verily they will be sent to paradise with flowing river flowing below. So that is the description of people who are not rebellious. Simply people who believe and doing good. Doing good means here obey what Allah asks people to do. What Allah asks us to do, believe and to do good. What is to do good? And then we look back at the first few sentences of the surah of Al-Baqarah. People who believe, people who spend out his wealth, people who perform prayer, people who do fasting, performing Hajj, and all these pillars of Islam mentioned in the Koran. Performing zakat, fasting, praying, and saying Shahada. That's all. So that's all is required of us to be in the category of outside being rebellious. It's not a lot, but then many people fail to meet this category, and one who don't meet this category are classified as kafirun, or the unbelievers. Include in the unbelievers is the pretender or the munafikin. The munafikin are people who say they believe, but in their heart they don't believe. When they are asked to believe like the others people, they say what should believe. Like the stupid people, they even say the believers are stupid. Then Allah saying, no, they are the one, they are stupid. So this kind of people exists before, during Muhammad time, during Prophet time, it also exists today in the modern world. The munafikin, it is mentioned, they say they are Muslim, but the way they do, the way they believe, doesn't meet the category they are Muslims. There are even, we see that group of people, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet has said, in the future Islam will be divided into 73 branches. And we've seen that now. We've seen that even a country, they say they are Muslim, but they had a group that Islam world don't even categorize them as Ahli Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So of the 73 branches, the Prophet saying only one will enter paradise, that is Ahli Sunnah wal Jama'ah, that follow the way of the prophets and his companion believe. So you see now, there are many branches in this world that deviate from the real teaching of Islam, following the prophets and his companion. Just to name the few, the Shia, the Wahhabi, even in the country around us, there's also the group influence of Wahhabi is seen in this country. Even they are learned Muslim, but their thinking, I even seen that a Muslim claimed that he got PhD studying religion. He was always proud of himself, a PhD holder, studying religion up to PhD level. But when I noticed that he interpret the Koran way out, and what he was doing was way out, then I can see that this kind of people are not really following the way of the prophets and his companion. Of course, when he interpret the Quran, there are also other learned Muslim. See how he interpreted, and this other Muslim also criticize his way of interpretation, how he interpreted. Of course, it's clear. The truth and the false is clear. So I can already see that, yes, he claimed to be a Muslim, learned with PhD degree, but I can see that his interpretation goes out of the way, and the people who do this are the people who really don't believe in their heart. Had he had belief, he would be more careful. He's not sure he would be asking, get a reference, get the support. That is the way in Islam. If you are not sure, get the support. But then I have read the Quran, and you have heard me reading the Quran and reading the interpretation, translation. Most of the Quran is very clear what the message is. It's very clear, like 1 + 1 = 2, clear and obvious. Of course, Allah also mentioned that in the Quran there is sentences Allah has said mutasabihah, something that is not clear. Muslims should avoid, try to think the meaning of something that is not clear. But the munafiqin like this, or the unbelievers like this, something which is not clear, then they make their own interpretation. Of course, it's already a guideline there to keep away from something which is not clear in the Quran. So when it is not clear, there's instruction to keep away from it. So even the Prophet will keep away from it. So who are we trying to figure out the meaning of the mustabishah sentences in the Quran? We are only asked to look up on sentences that are clear in the meaning. I had been reading the Quran and read the translation, and it is very clear. The meaning is very clear. Most of the meaning in the Quran revelation is clear. When it is something not clear, I just read it and I know it is not clear and read it, then don't try to interpret it. Okay, that is talking about the group of people who are not rebellious, and also other group of people who are rebellious. The unbelievers, which is obvious, the unbelievers, and the other who are not obvious, that is hiding behind the screen of Islam, is the munafiqin. So these people will be punished in the next world for being rebellious. So, brothers and sisters, now I want to talk on what is going on in this world. I've been talking about China. Yes, I've been writing a post on Facebook on China. So what I tell about China is China used to be a difficult country, meaning that the people in China were poor. Oh, my wife is giving me something, maybe something to eat.
Nanti angkat jemuran ya Pak ya.
Oke.
Bapak nanti kalau ngantuk pulang aja Pak, jangan tidur sini.
Oke.
Enak loh Pak.
Oke. Okay, let my wife pass. Okay, let us continue. Where are we? Okay. My post simply say China used to be poor, then become rich. Of course, they were thought to be the number one economy in this world. Then they overstep and then destroy thousands of mosques. For that sin, Allah sent down rain, heavy rain. From that heavy rain and other things, the country is now on the way to become poor, and the West is already saying that China will never become the economic power after this. We'll see. Okay, one of the reasons they have what heavy rain had caused breakdown of dams. Even the three gorge dams now they claim deformed. I think only few days ago the level reached 175 meters. It's like the rain is a bit going down and up. It seems like the heavy rain is a continuous thing. It's not continuous, but continually. Maybe it's stop a little bit and up again. And I'm surprised to hear only 2 days ago, the level reached again 175 meters. It's about the design limit. So another thing is with the dam broken, then the hydraulic power also reduced. And another thing happened is that their coal mine flooded, so they cannot dig and mine coal. Of course, if they don't have electrical hydropower, they have to have electricity by burning coal. So now they are going back to burning coal. They don't have enough coal. Then they import coal. So the country that they like to import coal more is Australia. But what happened? Australia criticized them for treating the Muslim in Xinjiang inhumanly, and also they were of the suspect of producing this coronavirus from a lab in Wuhan. Of course, this is a big thing, a big sin that China would want to deny. They were angry, of course, if people say or expose what they've been doing, and they want to deny and always deny, and they were angry, and they at one time say we don't want Australian coal, but how they reject coal when they need coal. So I heard that they're buying coal from Australia using middlemen, but then middleman service is not free, so they have to pay coal from the middleman at a higher price, of course. So I don't know what happened. Eventually they have to swallow the bitter pill and have to buy coal from Australia in order to survive in this winter. So that is the problem, you see. If you do something bad, you don't want people to know, of course. You feel angry, of course, when people expose it. And the mind cannot think rational anymore. And when the mind cannot think rational anymore, difficult thing comes up. Like US, they are moving thousands of US companies from China because they also look at it that China is responsible for the coronavirus that leaked from a laboratory in Wuhan. There are also Chinese activists expose this. I heard that in YouTube, but the Chinese activists had to go to other country. He can be in China and expose what is going on. I think by logic, what they say, if this virus is natural, then it can be replicated naturally as well. It cannot be replicated naturally, then it must be the work of a person who fiddle with genetic of virus, making the spike virus in the laboratory and make it infectious to human being. So what they do is just fiddle with the genetic code and the virus change shape or structure, making it able to penetrate to human lung. So all sort of things they can do by this called genetic engineering, fiddling with the genetic code in the DNA of the virus. So some of you may have studied this biology and you know this thing better of the genetic engineering, studied a subject in the university. Okay, so that is the great sin they're doing, and the effect of the sin is making them to become poor again in the future. You will see what happened. We don't rule out that the big dam would break, because currently they claim it's deformed. So what happened if the Three Gorge Dam, the big dam, break? The flood water will go as far as Beijing, and it will be a human disaster in China, and of course it will be ruining their prosperity, so they will never become rich again because of the sin they are doing. If it's a big sin, extreme, Allah would punish that group of people in this world. Normally, if it is not, then Allah will wait until the punishment come in the next world. Sometime Allah punish both this world and the next world for really of doing the extreme. Okay, brothers and sisters, now let me read the Quran. See the marking. Okay, brothers and sisters, I remember we should be reading the next page after the marking. So this morning we'll be reading page 117. To get the barakah of this morning, let me read the first sentence in Arabic. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la tattakhizul yuhadu wan nasara awliya ba'duhum awliya ba'di wa man yatawallahum minkum fa innahu minhum innallaha la yahdil qawmaz zalimin. Okay, let us read the meaning of the sentences on this page. Oh, my son-in-law just passed riding his big bike. Okay. Oh, the people, oh, believe, don't you make the Jew and the Christian as the people of friend which as royal friend, as they are each other protecting each other. If among you who make them as loyal friend, then they are the people who will be inside their group. As Allah will not give guidance to the people who are cruel. And you will see the people whose heart have sickness will like to be with them, will like to be near them, and say, we are afraid to have difficulty. Hopefully Allah will make victory to His messenger or the decision from Him that make them regret on what they have kept secret for themselves. And the people who believe said, these are the people who pledge clearly with the name of Allah that they are really with you. So all what the good thing they are doing will become of no value, and they will become one who will be at loss. Or you believe the people who had get out of from the religion, then Allah one day will bring in the group of people that they love Him and love Allah, and Allah also love them, and become gentle to the people who believe, and will become hard to the unbelievers. And the people who fight in the way of Allah will not be scared of the criticism of the people who like to criticize. That is the favor of Allah that is given to the people whom Allah wants to give. Allah is wide in His gift and all-knowing. Verily, your helper is only Allah and His messenger and the people who believe, the people who perform salat and perform zakat and keeping down or humble to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whoever making Allah His messenger and the people who believe as His helper, verily the follower of religion of Allah is the winner. Oh, people who believe, don't you make your leader from the people who make your religion as a thing of joke and play. Among the people who've been given book before you and the people who are unbelievers, and put your trust to Allah if you are believers. So actually, I read this sentence. It's real. The reality is happening. You can see that in the reality is happening in this sentence. Okay, thank you very much. Let's now read the now. So let's now read the Gospel of Barnabas. So Gospel of Barnabas, we should be reading chapter 124. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Jesus answered in parable, a man goes to fish with a net, and therein he catch many fishes, but those that are bad he throw away. A man went forth to sow, but only the grain that falls on the ground bad the seed. Even so, though you do, listening all and receiving only the truth, saying that the truth alone bear fruit into eternal life. Then answered Andrew, now how shall the truth be known? Jesus said, everything that conform to the book of Moses, that receive you for true, seeing that God is one, the truth is one, wherein is follow that the doctrine is one, and the meaning of the doctrine is one, therefore the faith is one. Verily I say unto you that if the truth had not been erased from the book of Moses, God would not have given David our father the second. If the book of the David had not been contaminated, God would not have contaminated the gospel to me. Seeing that the Lord our God is unchangeable, has spoken but one message to all men. Wherefore, when the messenger of God shall come, he shall come to cleanse away herewith with ungodly, have contaminated my book. Then answer who write, O Master, what shall a man do when the law shall be found contaminated, and the false prophet shall speak? Jesus answered, Great is the question, O Barnabas. Wherefore I tell thee that such a time few are safe, seeing that men do not consider their end, which is God, and God live, whose presence my soul strength stand every doctrine that shall turn man aside from his end, which is God, is most evil doctrine. Wherefore there are three things that thou shalt consider in doctrine, namely love towards God, pity towards one's neighbor, hatred towards thyself who had offended God. Offenses every day. Wherefore every doctrine that is contrary to those three hast thou avoid, because it is most evil. So the meaning is clear. Thank you very much for listening.